Okay, so here is the deck list that I have made for the Theme Chronicle event, which is the ongoing event right now in Master Duel. It has limits and bans of a lot of other archetypes that are not in the solo mode. And they also banned a lot of floodgates. We will have a look. Yeah, they banned a ton of floodgates. They banned Summon Limit, Goes in Match, they banned a rivalry of warlords. They banned anti-spell fragrance. They banned skill drain. They banned Teakboo. But for some reason, they did not ban lose one turn. It is completely unlimited. And they also didn't ban Macrocosmos, but we're not playing this in our deck today because we do need our monsters to be in the graveyard. So the deck we are playing is actually Gokis, but it's not actually a typical Goki deck that you will see in Master Duel. It is a Goki trap deck, or a Goki stun deck. So we are only playing 10 main deck Gokis, 1 Goki Guards, triple Twist Cobra, triple Suprax, and triple Risk Scorpio. Those are probably the best Gokis that we could play. And we're not actually playing a lot of extra deck monsters, we're just playing some random Link 2s and Link 3s and Link 4s. These are the ones I picked. You could pick more generic options like the Nightmares, you could play Access Code. I think Access Code is banned, so probably not Access Code. You could play Appaloosa, you could play IP, you could play stuff like that, but I do want to try to make the deck cheaper. And since you don't really need the extra deck other than to use it for your pot cards, you could play whatever you want for the extra deck. So yeah, we're playing 6 pots, we're playing double Duality, triple Extravagance, and 1 Prosperity. Just to help us get into our monsters or traps more easier. And for traps, we could play a lot of traps that are not banned, because even though we have a lot of floodgates being banned for the event, we could still play a lot of more cheaper options that could still break our opponent's board. We have Torrential Tribute, we have Compulse, we have Lost Wind, we have IDP, Expendable Die, Horn of Heaven, we have Solemn Warning, and Lose One Turn, which is probably the best card in the entire deck. So for some reason this card is not banned, so we are playing 3 copies of it. And we can also play traps that tribute our own monsters, like Expendable Die and Horn of Heaven in this deck, because all the Gokis float. The reason why we were playing Gokis in the first place is because they search themselves. When they go to the graveyard, they can search another copy of a Goki, except itself. So even if you keep tributing your own monsters, or destroying your own monsters with Torrential Tributes, or being beat over by your opponent's monsters, it's fine, because they can search another copy. So it ensures that you don't ever run out of monsters to summon. You can even use them for a Link 2 or a Link 3, and you can just recur themselves, and you can just keep your line up of monsters going. So yeah, the reason why I am playing this deck in the event at the first place is because it doesn't really matter if you lose. So most likely what will happen is if you go first, you will set 5 or summon 1 monster and set 4, and either your opponent scoops immediately, or they activate Lightning Storm or Feather Duster and you scoop immediately. So it really saves a lot of time to not do very long combos and just for your opponent to scoop at the end of the combo, or have your opponent activate something like a Droplet to break your entire board. Yeah, if you do a very long combo, it really wastes a lot of time, and since it's completely fine to scoop in this event, you just earn a bit less medals. You don't actually drop in rank or anything. So what you can do is, if you go second and your opponent has a good hand, you can just scoop immediately, and just play until you go first and set 5, and your opponent immediately scoops. And another good thing about this deck is that it is extremely cheap. There are not a singular ultra in the entire deck. You could play stuff like Solemn Judgment, which is an ultra rare, But I just want to show that you don't really need to play expensive cards to grind the event. You could just play a really cheap deck like this. You don't even need the expensive Goki cards, you can just play all the low rarity Gokis. Yeah, for example, typical turn 1 is going to be setting a monster and then setting 4 back row. This is the typical opening, and also probably the best opening that you could have, which is 1 monster and 4 back row. And if you draw Extravagance, you could potentially have 5 set back row. But okay, our opponent is activating World Legacy Key. That negates our back row. It negates our traps, so we will have to pop it right now. Otherwise, he will negate our traps, which is not ideal. And yeah, we are going to tribute our Goki, that's fine, because we are going to draw 1 card from the effect of Expendable Die, and also Suprex will be searching us another copy of Goki. Yeah, if our Goki monsters get negated, it's actually pretty bad for us, because now we don't have a consistent source of monsters to summon. But as long as we draw a monster next turn, it will all be fine. Oh, it's Duster! Oh, why did you do this? Why are you doing this? Okay, so if you see Duster, just scoop immediately. There is no point of making the duel longer. If you see your back row being wiped entirely, just scoop, play another game. It won't take long. And that is why I am playing this deck. Actually, if our opponent does Ash our Duality, that's also fine, because ashing our Duality is better than ashing our Gokis. Because we might run out of monsters to summon if we don't have Gokis that resolve. Okay, we could get the best card in our entire deck, which is lose 1 turn. The Floodgate that is not banned for some reason. And now we can set for back row and set Goki Twist Cobra. And also, since Mechanites are not limited in any way in this event because they're in the solo mode, it is quite a good idea to not put your cards in the same column. So spread them out as open as you can. Okay, our opponent summons Kit. I believe we could warning it. Alright, now if he tries to fusion summon anything, we can flip up lose 1 turn and his special summoned monsters will be negated. Yeah, he could try to fusion summon something, but since that is a special summon, we will be able to negate it with lose 1 turn. And also, lose 1 turn's effect actually starts a new chain, so your opponent could actually pop it with Ghost Ogre. So that's another thing that you will want to keep in mind. But not a lot of people actually plays Ghost Ogre, so that's not that big of a concern. But yeah, if you're using lose 1 turn, make sure that you don't have a special summoned monster if you are going to activate this card, because it only says it says activate only if you currently control no special summoned monsters. So Suprex special summons a monster from your hand. So if you have a lose 1 turn, don't use Suprex's effect to special summon. Yeah, then now we could flip open our Twist Cobra, and we can beat over our opponent's monsters. We couldn't actually beat over his Masquerade, but that's fine because we have Lost Wind, which can halve its attack if he tries to attack us. So we'll just attack his Dramaturge. Yeah. Now we can just attack it with a 1600 attack Twist Cobra. And it's going to beat it over. Now we can set a copy of Solemn Warning and we can enter. And since he set his back row in the same column as my lose one turn, it's probably an impermanence, which could negate my lose one turn. So I will just have to keep that in mind. There is that possibility. He might just be bluffing. But yeah, he's going to attack me, which is all according to plan, because I have a set Lost Wind. I can wait until before damage calc, which is right now. I can activate Lost Wind, reduce its attack by half, and now he's going to crash. And since I don't actually have a extra deck monster, he can't actually use it, Masquerade's effect to revive itself. So it is going to stay in the graveyard forever. Unless he has another way to revive it. Now we can just keep attacking with a single copy of Twist Cobra. And then we can set our trap and we can enter. It is very simple. It is a very, very simple deck to play. There are no long combos, it's just setting traps, attacking with your go keys, and waiting for your opponent to scoop. He's gonna special summon Ecclesia, but he can't actually chain his tribute because lose one turn's negate effect is active as soon as the monster arrives the field. Yeah, he realizes that and he scoops. Yeah, so a weird thing about lose one turn is that the two effects actually don't correlate. So the negate effect is active as soon as a new monster arrives the field, so he can't chain Ecclesia to search. But the attack position changing effect is a trigger effect, so it will start a new chain. And you could chain Ghost Ogre to pop it.